Training Vignette number 10. This is Scott with Dedicated Threat Solutions, and this topic is two sides of the OODA Loop. In this particular presentation, I'm going to assume you have at least a baseline understanding of what the OODA Loop is and how it applies. So the OODA Loop stands for Observe, Orient, Decide, and Act. Observe. Combatants enter the cycle. Whoever observes first has the immediate advantage. If you do not have situational awareness, you will have difficulty moving through the cycle. Orient. You must now evaluate under stress to put the facts of the confrontation into perspective. You have to see what is really occurring. This goes back to looking is not enough. You actually have to see what it is that you're looking at and then put everything into that perspective. Decide. An effective orientation leads to a conscious or subconscious decision. Inability to evaluate can lead to no decision where the combatant is frozen, which could also be known as condition black. Act. After an action is initiated, the situation has changed and you have arrived back at the top of the cycle, ready to re-observe. The individual who cannot move through the cycle smoothly will normally be overcome by events. And then it goes back to observe, orient, decide, and act. And it is a continuous loop until the threat or threats are neutralized. OODA Loop and time. The OODA Loop is about time. Time is the same for everybody. How you use your time can be the deciding factor in whether you live or die when confronted by violence. Typically, the time spans that we're talking about are seconds and even less than a second. When we talk about the OODA Loop, there's going to be you and the threat that you're dealing with. Both of you are going to have an OODA Loop, and both of you are going to be cycling through your OODA Loop. The OODA Loop occurs whether you are consciously aware of it or not. You will either observe or you will fail to observe. You will either orient to the threat or you will be disoriented to the threat. You will make a decision or you will be indecisive. You will act or you will freeze, also known as condition black. When you're dealing with multiple threats, you have your OODA Loop, then you also have each threat that has their own OODA Loop. In this particular situation, when you're dealing with multiple threats, you have to make a decision on which threat is the priority. And it could be due to proximity, weapons, or prior history and knowledge of the threats. Now let's get into the two sides of the OODA Loop. So your goal is going to be observe, and the potential states for that is you're going to fail to observe, which means that you are unaware. This could be equivalent to condition white. Orient, or you are going to fail to orient, and then you will be disoriented to the threat. Your goal is to make a decision. Potential state is you fail to make a decision, and you are indecisive. And the goal is to act. And then the potential states are you will fail to act or you will potentially freeze. Think back to earlier where I just said the OODA Loop is all about the most effective use of time. You and the threat both have the same amount of time. If you're in a potential state where you're failing to observe, orient, decide, or act because you're unaware, disoriented, indecisive, or you freeze, all of those situations are going to work against you. The goal with the OODA Loop is to continually cycle through the loop until the threat or threats are neutralized. If you fail to enter or cycle through the loop, that gives you a very short period of time to engage and get back in that fight. Again, because time is the same for everybody, whoever's using their time more effectively and efficiently will tend to win in that encounter. Again, I got some books on Amazon. Go check those out. Contact information is info@dedicatedthreatsolutions.com. Check out my website at www.dedicatedthreatsolutions.com. Link up with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Indeed, and my Amazon author page. As always, train hard, stay safe.